You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. All right, folks, as of today, there are 1,477,227 confirmed cases of coronavirus in the United States, 88,110 deaths so far, folks. We are fastly approaching 90,000. 307,916 people have recovered. Now, one of the things that's interesting here, and frankly, it's weird, if you will, is that you're dealing with a truly crazy person who is president. Yesterday, this nut was actually in Pennsylvania. And he made this stunning comment regarding testing that we're all still sort of trying to figure out what the hell he was talking about. I mean, it's crazy what he's talking about. So Donald Trump literally said that, well, the reason we could have lower confirmed cases if we didn't test people. I don't even know what the hell that means. What we're dealing with, folks, is how truly nuts this dude is. First of all, I mean, listen to this.
The best test we have tested 2 months ago didn't even exist. Our great companies came up with things, Abbott Laboratories and so many others. They came up with things at Roche. They came up with things that nobody even believes. So we have the best testing in the world. It could be the testing's, frankly, overrated. Maybe it is overrated. But whatever they start yelling, we want more, we want more. You know, they always say, we want more, because they don't want to give you credit. Then we do more, and they say, we want more. But we have the greatest testing in the world. But what we want is we want to get rid of that. And we have the best test. We have tested.
Oh, okay. I don't even know what that. I like literally, I have no idea what the hell that means. I don't even. You can't even explain what the hell that even means. It's so crazy that PGA golfer Rory McIlroy, who has played golf with Donald Trump before, said not going to happen again. He was highly critical of this by saying that why you keep making it sound like we're in some kind of competition with other states. He's like, we're not in competition with other states. Let's go to my panel. Rob Richardson, host of Disruption Now podcast. Brittany Lee Lewis, political analyst. Chris Prudhomme, Republican strategist. Chris, I don't understand. How do you say just how amazing and wonderful the tests are? First of all, he touts these Abbott tests. The FDA has now issued a warning saying that they're issuing many false negatives. 2, Trump says testing is overrated. What the hell is that?
You know, Roland, the many times I've spoken to you on numerous topics, like I always tell the people, I mean, obviously there's been numerous challenges and obviously numerous issues since this pandemic. It's clear that President Trump has his thoughts, and it certainly is clear that Dr. Fauci has his thoughts.
Okay, Chris, hold on 1 second. Your audio is low, so I want our control room to work with you. I think you may need to increase your output volume on your end, so they're going to work with you so we can do that, because we can barely hear you. Let me go to Brittany. So guys, control room, y'all work with Chris on his audio. Brittany, I can't make out what the hell this dude is talking about.
This is scary, Roland, to be honest. And all I hope is that the American people come out and vote. I recently just saw a study that came out by one of the most prestigious medical journals calling for U.S. citizens to vote because of the botched response to this COVID-19 epidemic. And I mean, testing is underrated. We have 87,000 people that have died in this country as a result of his botched response. And we're still not doing the level of testing. We're nowhere near the level of testing that's necessary for all of these states to be opening up. It's absolutely petrifying. And I pray that he is not the president, when the election comes around.
Rob, when you listen to this fool talk, I mean, his whole deal, so it's just downplay testing. So how in the hell are you supposed to know if somebody is sick?
Well, Roland, if you try to understand crazy, you might go crazy yourself. So I can't profess to understand him at every moment, but I'm going to try a little bit. I think what the strategy is of not only Trump, but I'm going to say the Republican Party, because that's their standard bearer. They're gonna say, let's pretend like we don't have a problem. Let's not talk about it. Stop talking about testing. Stop thinking about it. We just need to reopen the economy and hope everything goes well. They think that if the economy can go well and they can stop talking about this stuff, maybe they can move on to something else. Although people are dying, I don't know what else they want to talk about. But their goal is to distract and to not talk about this because it makes him look as bad as he really is. That's the problem.
Well, yeah. I mean, and again, he says this stuff. And it just literally makes no sense whatsoever. And people are out there. I mean, again, the death toll is increasing. I mean,
the death toll is increasing. But there's this balance that his people, Roland, and not only his people, there are people that want to go back out, want to open the economy, want to look for any reason to do so. And they don't want to look at the inconvenience the fact that deaths are still rising. But, there are businesses that are out there that want to reopen. We know the unemployment numbers are really at record numbers for the amount of time that we're in. So you have that going on. They want to do anything to try to push the economy back out. But here's what they need to understand, Roland. Doing this prematurely will have long-term worse effects because what we know, and, long story bearable, I won't get too much into this, but what my company does, we do some stuff with research, and we've looked at this, and people are not coming, no matter what, people are not coming out, even after healthcare professionals tell them that it's okay. They're not going to come out for a good amount of time. So the economy is not going to work until it's safe. So we need to get testing up. This makes no sense for actually trying to get the economy together. But again, this guy never makes sense.
The thing here, I think we got Chris's audio straight. Chris, what's crazy about all of this, Trump at one point said we have 15 cases in the United States, will be down to 0. Then it was the number began to change. So then it was, fewer deaths possible. Then we went to 20, then 30. Then he was like, maybe 40. Okay, maybe 50, 60. Okay, now we can keep it under 100. We're at 88,000 today. We're likely going to be at 100,000 deaths next Friday. Are they going to move the number somewhere else?
No, I don't think so, Roland. And look, the reality is that, and I'll go back to what I said initially. We all know this has obviously been a challenging process, and we know President Trump has much different thoughts than Dr. Fauci. That's very evident, it's very clear. It's also very clear that he has his own mind, and he not only says things that obviously that are factual, but he also, I think, has a certain sense of pragmatism in terms of how he wants the economy to be, how he wants the nation to be in terms of back in good standing. So, and I say all that to say, Roland, look, I always say, as you know, we talk, and I talked about what's right, and I'm always honest, fair, and true, as much as I am as a supporter of him, and of course also the Republican Party. But I call it like it is. Look, he's an optimist, and he wants things to be back. He said today on television, the third quarter is going to be a transition. The fourth quarter is going to be great. But you have the Fed chair who actually said something totally different than that. So I think he has a certain level of optimism. He wants the economy to get back. He wants things to be booming because obviously it's election season. So he wants things to be back on track, and I think rather quickly. But when you have a Fed chair who says something otherwise, I think it doesn't make it's challenging for him. And I think he's trying to move the market. He's trying to be encouraging in a sense from an economic standpoint.
But Chris, he's lying.
He's lying. He's lying. He's not being an optimist.
He's lying.
He's delusional. And go ahead, Roland.
No, Rob, go ahead. Rob, go ahead.
No, I'll say he's delusional. Here's the problem, and I understand, Chris. You did a great job of trying to defend him, and I'll try to help you out with a little bit of bipartisanship. The man just wanted to run a reality show. He thought he could just run this like a reality show, have a little fun, go up there, say whatever he wants. The problem is he's actually going to have to work. He's actually going to have to do his job, and this is not what he signed up for. He signed up to be a reality TV show president. This is not a game. This is real life. He should listen to Dr. Fauci. He doesn't have any medical training, despite all the medical training he said he imported in his brain. He doesn't. He should listen to the experts. And every time he talks, the markets are going down. So it's not working. I mean, I hear you. I know you got to do everything you can. And I think you made the best case you could, but there is nothing there.
Well, and Robert, and I appreciate that, but I also do want to point out too. I mean, obviously he is a reality star, and I do think that. Let's be frank. I think anybody, but especially for him, I think this is probably the worst case scenario any president can possibly have in terms of wanting to have a pandemic during your presidency. Obviously, this is not something he expected. But I want to go back, look at what he's done with the First Step back. I mean, he's HBCUs. I mean, so I do want to point out some of the things he has done.
Chris, we're talking about coronavirus. We're talking about so. I know y'all want to bring up other stuff, but here's my whole point here. The man said yesterday testing is overrated. There 88,000 Americans are dead. We have people walking around not knowing whether they are positive or not. We have healthcare providers who have died. We have people, Fauci is talking about how this is impacting children from a very rare disease, and they're seeing all of these cases come up. We're seeing perfectly healthy people fighting for their lives. We just saw the virologist for NBC News contract coronavirus. He took all the precautions. He said he believes it entered through his eyes. And this man stands up and goes, testing is overrated. I'm sorry. That's not being an optimist. That is being ignorant, Chris. Ignorant. And people who look like us are dying at a much higher rate than anybody else. Yeah. So
40% of Michigan alone.
So defending this optimist stuff is nonsense. Republicans are going to have to talk sense and say, no, dude, shut the hell up and buckle down on this thing. Stop talking about Obamagate, which is BS. It was actually Russian started. Stop trying to talk about Mike Flynn, everything else in the world. Oh, Obama left the cupboard empty. You're the president. You're sitting in the job. Bitching and moaning about everybody else ain't going to get you anywhere, Chris. And so at some point, he's going to step up. And the reason his numbers are lagging in these states, the reason seniors are going for Joe Biden at a higher rate than him, because they see he does not know what he's doing, Chris.
Yeah, I know. Hold
on. Chris, respond, then Rob. Chris.
Yeah. So look, Roland, I mean, I think we all can conclude. Say, I mean, he didn't anticipate a pandemic. I don't think anybody could. But now when it comes to handling this,
Stop right there. Please. I wish y'all would stop saying no one anticipated a pandemic. That is a lie. There was a plan that was presented to them. His administration, they were taken through an actual exercise of a pandemic. Now, no one hopes it becomes a reality, but it is not true, Chris, that no one anticipated this. That is incorrect.
Yeah, and Chris,
hold on, Rob. I need him to respond.
Oh, go ahead.
Right. So thanks, Roland. So my thing is this. I think in any presidency, no one wants to have a pandemic, right? So when I say anticipated, that was not in his. So yeah, one could argue it's in his. I'm not going to make excuses for the man, but one could argue it was not in his thought process. I get that. What I'm simply saying is that when he was running for president of the United States, he never thought it was going to be a pandemic. Now, does that change things, good or bad, that has happened? No, it does not. I can't argue with that. It doesn't change at all. But what I'm simply saying is that I think based on the circumstances, he's president of the United States. So whether people like him or not, he is.
Right, which means do your damn job.
And I get it, but when you have folks, I mean, let's be realistic. When you have folks like Dr. Fauci, who's been a long-time scientist, very smart guy, you can't take it away, very sharp guy, but it doesn't always help when they're saying obviously conflicting things, conflicting information.
Wait, hold up. You say it doesn't help when a Fauci says conflicting stuff. The problem with conflicting information ain't Fauci, it's Trump. So, look, if you're Fauci, you can't sit there. Dude, this man stood at a podium and talked about taking disinfectant, okay? Birch is sitting there trying, not to embarrass him. She should have said, what the hell are you talking about? She should have stood up and said, no, no, no. America, do not listen to this man. We are not going to study orally taking disinfectant. No.
Yeah. Here's the problem I have with this, Chris and Roland, if you can give me a second. I've actually never shared this on TV or actually publicly yet, but my sister died earlier this year, and we didn't know what the reason for the death was. They thought it was the flu, but they said it was some type of flu that they never seen before. And now in hindsight, this was in late January. It could have been this. And so, look, I don't see this as a game. And what infuriates me and really pisses me off is that somehow people wearing masks have become like a political symbol. Like if you're wearing a mask trying to protect yourself, somehow you're taking the political side. This is nonsense. Follow the data and protect people's lives. So I don't understand any of this anymore. We're not talking about a tax cut. We're not talking about policy. We're talking about protecting people's lives. I don't understand how this has become political to follow science, and it shouldn't. Well, period.
And Rob, and I do agree with you on that. I do, because the other day in the Senate hearing, it was actually pretty frustrating for me looking at both sides of the aisle. And I thought to myself, I couldn't watch anymore, because to me, it was not about people anymore. It was about either people that love Trump or those that hate him. And so I do agree with you on that point. I think it's politicized so much. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on, that we have to remember the people. We have to remember that people that have died. We have to remember us as Americans. And I think we need to put more emphasis on that.
He's not, though.
He's not. And Brittany, that's the thing that is frankly frustrating, because General Russell Honore has been sitting here constantly tweeting and saying you have to have a national testing strategy. We don't. What Donald Trump did was say, states, on y'all, do what y'all want to do, because he does not want to shoulder the blame. He does not want to have to marshal the federal resources. That's what you're dealing with. When you get rid of the one guy because he wouldn't endorse you and that drug, hydrochlor, whatever the hell it is, that Laura Ingraham. I mean, Brittany, when you have a Fox News host walking experts into the Oval Office to tout this drug, not real doctors, okay? And now the study shows that drug had no impact on improving the lives of people with the virus. Yet here you got Trump up there it could be a miracle drug. It could work. Maybe not. I don't know. But let's try it. Let's see. And go on and just saying stuff. And Fauci and Birx are like, pump the brakes, pump the brakes. That's the problem. The problem here is the crazy one is the one with the most power.
Roland, honestly, it's really scary. It feels surreal. And, I think at the end of the day, we think about the black and brown people who are on the front lines, who are the essential workers, who are dying in bulk as a result of his, inability to create a national strategy. It's absolutely petrifying. We are really, catching the brunt of this issue, and it's blood is on his hands, Roland. Blood is on his hands.
Where we are, Chris, what we're dealing with right now is very simple. We're going to hit 100,000 deaths by next Friday. We've been averaging 2,000 to 3,000 a day. 100,000 next Friday. We haven't even got to the summer yet. Texas has seen its largest increase in the coronavirus cases since they started counting, and it's always happening since they began to reopen. You've got Trump out here inciting people, Chris. You've got the Michigan legislature who's not going to meet because these gun-toting fools are mad because of the restrictions in the state. Republicans suing in Wisconsin governor, open it back up, and folks are dying. And you've got the person sitting with the most power tweeting all day about Obamagate and bitching and moaning about Joe Scarborough and the ratings of Morning Joe. Is that actually leadership, Chris? That a president spends more than half of his day watching TV and rage tweeting?
So I think from his standpoint, I think he feels the media obviously clearly is not in favor of him, and I think he tried to frankly change the narrative on other things. I think he wants to focus on. Let me not use the word focus. I think he wants to remind people of other things that are important to him as well, in addition to COVID-19. I think for President Trump, he wants to look at ways, and is doing that now, to essentially to get things back going in a more normal pattern as quickly as possible. Because yes, it is real. There's nothing to argue about that. This is serious, and this is certainly real. There's no way to any other way to put it. At the same instant, I do understand that we can't live in this space forever. We can't be here for 6 months. We can't have stay-at-home orders for half a year. It's not realistic. The reality is that the real lives at stake. You have 25% of restaurants who will not permanently open up again. Period. 36 million people unemployed.
Chris, how do you open up? Rob mentioned this earlier. How do you open up when the numbers show Americans are saying, "I'm not going out"? So so what you're describing, I get all of that, but here's what's going to happen. You're saying open up. Okay. So if I got a restaurant, I'm now dealing with some places max 50% or 25% capacity. So now I'm already dealing with few people coming in, but now I got to pay these employees their full wage, and nobody's walking through the door. So I'm in a catch-22. So even if I do open up, because you don't have any national testing, because you've been lagging in that regard, the American public isn't comfortable walking outside of their doors. Now, working on a vaccine is a totally separate deal. But
That's right.
Because, again, Trump and his administration, the CDC totally screwing up, wasted 2 months playing around with the whole test. It was a massive failure. He's out there tweeting, blaming it on Obama when it was his CDC with the test. So with all of that, please tell me, how can you still have an effective reopening of the country when the American people are saying we don't even know if it's safe to go out?
Well, let me say this first, Roland, and I'll come back to that. So let's not forget Dr. Tedros and the World Health Organization. I think a big part of President Trump's his frustration was initially January 15th, right, with the World Health Organization. We had a lot of ambiguity around the transmission, human transmission, and that's been known. It's a fact, the human transmission. And China obviously kept their secrets. Dr. Tedros of the World Health Organization, things frankly were covered up, and I think that caused a lot of delays. I really do. That caused a lot of delays, caused a lot of frustration for the president. That's a separate issue, though, Roland. I just want to be
Chris. Here's the problem with what you're saying. We have the stories of our own United States military intelligence who gave direct reports to him that he didn't read in early January. The reason we spend billions on U.S. intelligence is so we don't have to wait for a report from China. The United States intelligence, we have a unit in the U.S. military whose sole job is to track pandemics. They put it in his daily, highly classified briefing. And reports have been done by the Washington Post and the New York Times. He didn't read them. So you can keep trying to talk about the World Health Organization. Our own intelligence was telling him this pandemic is coming. We have emails from the guy in Texas who makes masks, emails from January saying, we're not prepared for this, it's coming. We have an email chain of health executives, CDC, all around the country, saying this thing is coming. He wouldn't listen to his own people. That was the problem, Chris. And here we are, May 15th, 3 months after the fact, still trying to play catch up, and he's in denial about a national test, and American people are just sitting here, and we're like, so what are we supposed to do? And he's focused on Obamagate. Go ahead.
Right, and I'm not disputing most elements of that, but my thing is this, Roland. Was human-to-human transmission, was that something that was looked at? Because I think that's the big issue. January 15th.
It was.
So we knew the pandemic was coming. We obviously knew that. But I think a major factor and a major issue was the human-to-human transmission. That's something that has been known.
But we knew it was human. We knew that. Like, we actually knew that. I mean, I'm just trying to understand, what's your point?
So my point is, we lost a lot of time, January 15th. And again, I know you talked about the report that our nation has, but I'm talking about the World Health Organization, Dr. Tedros, who we were looking to in the early stages of this for information, for understanding, and for knowledge. So I get what you're saying, but we looked to them for that. So I think we did lose time.
No. You don't look to the World Health Organization when you have a United States military intelligence unit who you pay to do exactly that. No, you actually listen to your intelligence first before the WHO. That's just trying to sit here and pass the buck, Chris.
Yeah, be a leader. Be a leader. I mean, is he a leader or is he not? Like, if you're in charge, act like you're in charge, accept responsibility, and move forward instead of blaming China, blaming the World Health Organization, blaming Obama, who hasn't been in office for almost 4 years. Who else he wants to blame? He blames people within his administration. He never takes responsibility. Never takes any type of accountability.
Chris, I just want to just read this. This is a story right here. Right here. The headline is U.S. intelligence agencies started tracking coronavirus outbreak in China as early as November.
I didn't see that report, but I want to look at it. I definitely will read it.
All right. Every single night, we've got some of the top black experts. You're not going to see them on cable news or broadcast news because you swear black people aren't experts when it comes to this health crisis. That's why we have this show and why we do what we do every day on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Joining us right now is retired General Russell Honore, the nation's first black Surgeon General, Dr. Joycelyn Elders.
John Hope Bryant, he is the founder of Operation Hope.
Senator Kamala Harris of California, Dr. Sadrina Calder, retired General Lloyd Austin, Congresswoman Karen Bass, Commissioner Omari Hardick, Bureau President in Brooklyn, Eric Adams, Dr. Joseph Graves, America's Wealth Coach, Deborah Owens, Dr. Corey Abear, Patel Saul, Howard University student, Pastor Jamal Bryant, Dr. Christy McDowell, Benja Ajilore, senior economist at the Center for American Progress, Gilda Daniels, again, author of the book, The Crisis of Voter Suppression in America. 4 stars, General Kip Ward. Dr. Oliver Brooks is president of the National Medical Association, president of the American Medical Association, Dr. Patrice Harris. Joby Benjamin,
Dr. Alexia Gaffney, infectious disease specialist. Dr. Georges Benjamin, executive director of the American Public Health Association.
Malcolm Nance, family medicine physician, Dr. Jen Caudle. Dr. Tashaka Cunningham, a molecular biologist, Kat Stafford. She's a national race and ethnicity reporter for the Associated Press. Dr. Wayne A.I. Frederick, who is the president of Howard University. Congresswoman Yvette Clarke from the state of New York.
William Spriggs,
AFL-CIO economist. Andrea James, executive director of the National Council for Incarcerated and Formerly Incarcerated Women and Girls. All right, let's go to Capitol Hill. Congressman Gregory Meeks, Congresswoman Eddie Breeze Johnson of Texas, Congresswoman Barbara Lee, Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar, mental health clinician Jamie Singletary, Prince George's County State's Attorney Aisha Brayboy, as well as Dylan Hayrie, ACLU Justice Division strategist. Dr. Cindy Duke, she is a virologist. Principal Steve Perry of Capitol Prep. Health and wellness specialist Dr. Yolandra Hancock. Desmond Meade, president of the Florida Rights Restoration Coalition. Cliff Albright, who is the co-founder of Black Voters Matter. Michael Harriet with The Root. Mina McWhorter, founder of Love by the Hand. Dr. Julianne Malvo, economist, president, Emerita Bennett College. Coroner Michael Fowler is a mayor of Atlanta. Keisha Lance Bottoms, mental health therapist Suzette Clark. Justin Gibney, attorney and political strategist, and Bishop Vincent Matthews Jr. Dr. Suzette McKinney, CEO and executive director of the Illinois Medical District. Dr. Leon McDougall, president-elect of the National Medical Association. Jana Bailey, mayor of Moss Point, Mississippi. Mario King.
We're going to keep driving this thing to make sure our people are fully aware, safe, protected from coronavirus. You're getting the top medical experts, the top business experts, top political experts, top religious experts, because that's why we do what we do. Unapologetically and unfiltered. Ain't nobody else in the black media space doing what we do. Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.